keeping track of your investors? How are you keeping track of, the marketability of the people that you want to connect with? How are you keeping track of what IP is out there that's really capable of being put on the market? I'm hearing Disney talking about how Disney needs more male content coming out there, but when they're going over to these books and stuff, I'm pretty sure they're running into mostly female content because most of the books, that's not the content that Disney is seeing was working for some of the titles they've been holding. It hasn't been working. This content change, I'm not trying to put down people for being empowered, but empowering one side while destroying another side, and I'm gonna say destroying another side because that seems to be how the films are going, because you're destroying the fan bases by not paying attention to what the fan base wants. That's marketing. That has nothing to do with demographics in that sense, except for the fact that you've got to pay attention to the demographics for the marketing aspect. And so if people are trying to change the demographics of a certain genre of film, especially beloved films that people have cult followings, you're not paying attention to the following. And if you're doing that, you're destroying the franchise. Simple as that. And I've seen a lot of franchises just go under recently, and a lot of people not caring anymore. I mean, Hollywood doesn't care anymore. You see what the studios are doing? We've all got to start opening our eyes a little bit more, and I'll start digging in a little bit more to what's really needed, what's really wanted, what's really desired, not what people are projecting what they want. And so how do we do that? Well, we got tools and we got frameworks and methods and strategies to actually help you do that. But it all depends on if you are going to sit there and pay attention to the strategies, pay attention to the demographics, pay attention to the information, pay attention to the data. I know I said the same thing in several different ways just now, but seriously. Because if we're not paying attention to the data, then why are we doing market research? Why are we doing analysis? Why are we actually paying attention and collecting all this data if we're not paying attention to it and utilizing it the way it needs to be? If we're saying, oh, well, the data says this, but I'm gonna make it for this, then we're not listening. All we're doing is projecting ourselves in a production. I project myself in my books, but I still have to take myself out of it. Why? Because I have to remember, I can't be the hero of my own books. I can't be the hero of my own stories. A character like me can, but even then, I can't be. Why? Because if I'm the hero, then I'm only putting my perspective in. I'm not thinking about the other people's perspective who are reading, watching, listening to these stories.